They took 700 couples and they brought them into this study. And these couples had had it with each other. And maybe that's a situation you're in. But they were ready to split up. They found out that 2/3 of those couples who stayed married were happy 5 years later. So some gave up, but those who stayed together found happiness 5 years later. So now what do you do? Now you're about to split up. Do you stay in for 5 more? Is it 5 more of misery?
Right.
Is it 5 more of unhappiness before you have the breakthrough?
Look, marriage is tough. You can't just give up after a fight.
Well, yeah.
But 2/3 making it work, that's a big number of those who are done with each other. All right. You're talking about Jessica Alba, the business mogul who built it all, famous actress turned entrepreneur.
Yeah. I mean, she's an advocate, actor, mother, mogul. I mean, you name it. She's everything goals. Like, I feel like every woman that I know looks up to Jessica Alba, but she opened up about her struggle with something that I talk about all the time that I really struggle with, and that's imposter syndrome. And so she said, I've always had this imposter syndrome thing, and I always felt like I didn't deserve to be here. And she was talking about building her business. She said, I always felt like it was God and magic that got me here. But I think being with my husband over these years, he let me know, hey, it's all the hard work that you've always put in. You deserve to be here as much as anybody else. And over time, I guess I've sort of let that sink in and marinate. And so I just love this because, you know, she founded the Honest Company in 2012, which kind of, she became the leader in the natural baby category and honestly a trailblazer for clean products, because in 2015 she came out with the beauty line, and that's when Forbes named her company a $1 billion company. And I just feel like, for me, when I was reading this, to see that somebody like Jessica Alba, who just has it all together and is doing amazing, she's also suffered from something like imposter syndrome, and she had a lot of self-doubt. It just made me feel, I don't know, like really seen. And then I also felt like hearing her talk about Cash, her husband, and how he helped her, you know, build this confidence, and it really just kind of sunk in. I was just like, that is such a testimony to, you know, picking the right life partner, because I feel like what a beautiful thing that he helped her kind of overcome this feeling.
And the imposter syndrome is what, pretending to like have to feel like you are pretending to be somebody else?
It's massive self-doubt. Like, I don't deserve to be here. I'm not qualified to be here. I'm not qualified to be doing this. There's much more qualified people out there.
I have that feeling often as well, and it's with anyone who has graduated college, right? Because I dropped out. So when people sit around and talk about, you know, where they went to school and where they graduated, I become embarrassed in a way because I left at 19 to come try and do this. So I feel an inadequacy in those conversations. And
I could see that.
An inadequacy in the relationship they have with their schools and the things that they learn. And by the way, the things that they learned that I never learned. There's a lot of stuff that I never learned. I still don't know.
I think that's what was happening with Jessica Alba. It's like she was an actress and she was in this one lane, and then she tried to start building a business, and she probably had that same feeling. She was surrounded by all these people that went to these amazing schools, and she was just kind of like, what am I doing here?
I'll tell you what I do. When I get into a conversation with someone and I am out of intelligence, I simply shift it to anything about food. You watch me do it. You'll watch me do it. Because I can talk about that for days. You know, they'll start telling me the history of a foreign nation. I'll say, you know what's interesting about that country? I love their, what is that indigenous food? Yes, I love that food. Whatever.
Oh, so you make them say it.
Well, sometimes, but I change it to a category that I can actually speak on.
Yeah, that's smart, actually.
Yeah.